So Kell Brook and Frankie Gavin have both weighed in, both made the 147-pound welterweight limit no problem. Kell Brook, as always, was in fantastic condition. He's all shredded up. Frankie Gavin has never been the most chiseled fighter in terms of his physique, but by his standards, I felt like he looked pretty lean in there. And maybe he's not quite as small a welterweight as a lot of us believed him to be, because I felt he looked quite gaunt in the face as well. But as far as how I see the fight going, I wouldn't be surprised if Kell Brook is made to look a bit clumsy in this fight and made to miss quite a bit. Frankie Gavin is very well schooled. I'm sure most of you probably know that he was world amateur champion, and that's not an easy accomplishment, believe you me. So he's well schooled, he's a southpaw, he's awkward, he's got a pretty good defense. People are going to look at the Leonard Bundu fight and see what Bundu was able to do to Frankie Gavin. But styles make fights, people. There are attributes which Leonard Bundu has, which are superior to Kell Brook's equivalent attributes, and vice versa. You know, there are certain things that Bundu does better than Brook and certain things that Brook does better than Bundu. So it's not a simple case of saying, well, Brook is better than Bundu, so therefore, you know, he's going to blow Frankie Gavin out in a couple rounds. It's not as simple as that. Styles make fights. That's a very important phrase in boxing, and it's probably one of the most accurate. So, yeah, I think that Kell Brook is going to be made to look a little bit clumsy, a little bit awkward, but eventually I think his strength, his accurate straight punching, I think his punches may get more accurate as the fight goes on, as he finds his range. But early on, I think Frankie Gavin's going to give him a little bit of trouble in there from a technical point of view. We'll see how it goes. Frankie Gavin's obviously very confident. He believes in himself. He thinks he can win. He thinks he's technically better than Kell Brook, and he wants to go out there and prove it. And Kell Brook is, according to him, on a seek and destroy mission. He just wants to get Frankie Gavin out of there. We'll see. I know a lot of us have got reservations about this fight, whether Frankie Gavin deserved to be in a world title fight, whether this fight should be top of the bill, whether this card should be pay-per-view. I know Eddie Hearn's hyping this pay-per-view up to be like the greatest pay-per-view or the greatest card in British boxing history for 20 years or something like that. Ridiculous. You've got Gradovic and Linares, who are two of the weaker champions in boxing. That's a fact. And they're going up against two guys in Mitchell and Lee Selby, who are completely unknown outside of their home country, the UK. So let's not hype this up to be some amazing card. No, outside of the UK, no one knows who Mitchell and Selby are. And even in America, not many people know who Linares and Gradovic are. And obviously, Gradovic is Eastern European, but still, these are not big names in the world of boxing, people. You know, not household names at all. Linares is, I believe, Venezuelan anyway, but, you know, fights mostly in America. But these are not well-known people in the sport of boxing. The most well-known guy on the whole card, really, is probably Kell Brook. You know, and even he's only taking his first baby steps at world level. He had to win against Sean Porter, and that's it. So Eddie Hearn is overhyping the hell out of it, but that's his job as a promoter, I guess. It's not as great a card as he's making out, man. In the UK, I guess it's easy for people to be blinded by all that because they do know Kevin Mitchell. You know, a lot of the British boxing public do know Kevin Mitchell, and they do, well, some of them may know Lee Selby, but they certainly know Kell Brook, and obviously Frankie Gavin's coming with his own set of fans from Birmingham. So it's obviously a bigger deal in the UK than it is for the rest of the world. But when you look at it in context, this is not as big a deal as Eddie Hearn is making it out to be. Nonetheless, even with the reservations that people have about the card and Frankie Gavin and all this kind of stuff, styles make fights. And I think Frankie Gavin will make it awkward for Kell Brook in there. And I'm anticipating a long fight, actually. I don't think this fight is going to end early. It might even go the distance. I'm anticipating a long fight, but I'm taking Kell Brook to win it. I'm not sure he's going to look that impressive, though. So drop your comments below. Let me know how you felt about the weigh-in. How do you think they both looked? And what are your final thoughts on the fight? What are your predictions? Drop them in the comment section below. It's Hatman. I'm out.